Welcome to AZDrone. I'm Rich, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about mapping and modeling, I should say, with drones. A little over, well, just about a month ago, my business partner Greg and I went over to Watson Lake Park in Prescott, Arizona to document the disc golf course that's there. It was for a little fun and also to post up the new baskets for the folks in the Prescott Disc Golf Association. While we were there, we decided to do another experiment as well in the park. So first of all, we're in Arizona, so Prescott, Arizona. So we've got some high desert stuff going on here. We got some amazing rock formations and some really different landscapes compared to a lot of other places in the United States. So Watson Lake Park is surrounded by amazing granite formations and has a really cool little lake that goes in and out of these granite formations and in and out of canyons. So it's a pretty slick and unique place. Also in the park, beyond the disc golf course and the boat launches and the cool rocks, there is a green, open, grassy field in part of the park. And during the summer season, you'll see families and people out there picnicking and having a good time. Right now, we've had a pretty major drought here in Arizona, and so that green grassy field isn't looking so hot. So while we were recording on January 8th of 2018, while we were doing the disc golf course, we also decided to do a flight over the green grassy area to take a look at plant health. So we used Ground Station Pro, and then we've got multiple tools for processing the images that we shot with the drone afterward. So we did some processing on the grassy field at Watson Lake Park a month ago. And today I went back out and I actually repeated the same exact flight. So I've got my iPad mini right here. And Ground Station Pro, one of the reasons why we're really testing this particular app out is because of the ability to pre-plan missions and also to copy missions. So the mission we flew in January a month ago, I reflew the same exact mission today. As a matter of fact, the same number of images were produced when doing this model. So 167 still images shot from a Mavic Pro at 145 feet above ground level. So Ground Station Pro is not the only tool out there for creating 3D models or plant health modeling. There are several others out there, but we're really favoring Ground Station Pro because of the additional features and programmability and pre-setting our flight paths well before we ever even wander out to the location that we're working at. So in this video, I'm going to show you the original flight plan that we did, and you'll even see that it's dated on 1/8 of 2018. I made a copy of the same exact mission last night, and making a copy is really easy on Ground Station Pro. And so I flew that one today, and today is February 6th of 2018, so almost a month. And looking at the initial reports back from the tool that we used, you can actually see a visible difference just by the flight over the grassy area. Now, there are tools out there to do NDVI modeling and reflectance map modeling, and there are different cameras out there to do all this work as well. So we're kind of calling this the fake NDVI. So I've taken the images, I've uploaded the images to Drone Deploy, and they give you a quasi NDVI output from, we're using a Mavic Pro, from the Mavic Pro camera. There are more accurate ways to do this. This is just us testing things out. So when I show you the images and I show you the hot spots and the spots that are still well watered, you'll see what I'm talking about. But this isn't the end all be all. This is a step in a direction for where we're taking our business. We're going to talk more about tools because what I've found since we've started into this journey with drone work and drone modeling is that there are a lot of tools out there. You've got Maps Made Easy, you've got Pix4D, you've got Drone Deploy, you've got all these different tools, Litchi, Ground Station Pro, the Maps Made Easy Map Pilot, the Drone Deploy Capture app. There's just, we can list these all day long. Bottom line is there are a lot of tools out there, and each of them seems to have their specialties. Each of them seems to have a really good point to them, and then the next software in the line has something else special that it does. So as we've been investigating all this and on an incredibly steep learning curve, what we found is each tool has its place for different presentations of the aerial data we collect. What does that mean? It means right now everyone's still racing into the drone market. All of the collection apps and all the processing apps, these aren't the end all be all. So, you know, in the next year, do we think we're going to see something bigger, better, stronger, faster? Yes, because this is still such a new industry. So one of the things we're going to do here at AZDrone on the YouTube channel is we're going to bring you guys along with us, and we're going to show you what we're using, what we're testing, what works for us, and what doesn't work for us. We're really going to help you out with that. And we're going to be doing some longer courses online too, and we'll be talking about that in the near future. We're not going to talk about that today because we're still working up that information. So out there are a lot of people talking about drone modeling, and there's some great resources out there. And what we found is that we've really got to piece it all together right now. So as we're going through the learning process, we're going to bring you through the learning process so that you can see our mistakes and hopefully learn from them as we learn from them. Okay, I took the glasses off because while I need them, I don't need them for looking at close-up objects. I'm clearly in my 40s. I need some bifocals or something. So I'll figure that out in time. Now I'm taking a look at my iPad mini here, and we're going to go into Ground Station Pro really quick. So I'm hitting Ground Station Pro, and you'll also get to see that on screen, and you're probably already seeing it on screen now. So we flew the Watson Lake Disc Golf Course. We did a couple of different passes, so we actually made a cross-hatch pattern with Ground Station Pro. And while we were there, we also did a greens test. So you can see that right here. Here's the greens test, or I'm sorry, Watson Grass Trial. And that was done 2018, January 8th at 12:05 a.m. or p.m. And so yesterday, Greg and I had talked, and we've got some presentation coming up, so we wanted to show this off and show the differences in that green grassy area. So you can see on this little map, I've got the green grassy area here. And so this mission was flown January 8th. If I slide this to the left, so I'm just taking my finger and sliding it to the left, we've got two options for this mission. We can delete it, or we can copy it. So what I did yesterday was I copied it. And so if you look up at the top here, copy of Watson Grass Trial. And so this was updated 2018 February 6th, and I ran it at 10:53 a.m. So a little bit different on the time of day, and one of the reasons why I made that choice, so the sun's not exactly in the same place, which I really would prefer it was. But we've got some major winds here. The winds have been picking up in the afternoons. So before it got too windy to fly, I made the decision to go ahead and fly it just a little earlier, and that could impact the differences in the model as well, and we're going to look at that on screen in a minute. So this copy of the Watson Grass Trial, I can actually click on Edit here, and so you can see on the right hand side It's Mavic Pro, parallel to the main path is how we flew it. We decided to capture at equal distances, intervals. We were doing the flight course on inside mode, staying within the boxed area. And we were flying this at an altitude of 145.6 feet. And under the advanced, I did a front overlap of 70% and a side overlap of 70%. Why? Because that's exactly what we did in the last one, so we wanted to keep it very consistent. Course angle, basically flying from south to north at 90 degrees. I didn't do anything with the margin, and I did do the gimbal pitch at 70 degrees instead of 90 degrees just to replicate what we'd done before. Normally, the only reason we do it at 70 degrees is if we're doing a 3D model. All right, so this area that we flew took 6 minutes and 47 seconds. That's the estimate from Ground Station Pro. It actually took just a little bit longer. Also, just so you can take a look at this, on the right hand side, you will see the coverage that we did for this flight today was 7.5 acres, just like the flight that we did a month ago. So now we'll jump into the end results to show you the grassy area from January compared to today. So this is not a complete walkthrough on the entire thing, and we will be doing a complete walkthrough also on the AZDrone channel. I have already walked through in 2 parts doing a Ground Station Pro mission, and that mission that we walked through was covering the disc golf course at Watson Lake, and the filming of all that actually took place on January 8th. So this is an extension of something that we did a month ago. So when you're done with this one, you might want to take a look at the lesson that I did on setting up Ground Station Pro and then our end result. So it's 2 parts, and it's here on the AZDrone channel as well. All right, next up, let's take a look at our final results. All right, so here we are. I'm in Photoshop right now, and I do apologize for the audio change. I don't have the right mic with me, but I did want to record this session now, so that's what I'm doing. So what we're looking at is the green grassy field area over at Watson Lake Park, the city park. As you can see, it's not so green. So this was this particular layer, because I actually made 3 layers to show some changes over time. But this particular layer was shot on January 8th of 2018. And as you can see, we've got this green grassy area. We've got a lot of browning around it. We've got a lot of brown patches. It even looks like we've got some tire treads going across here. Maybe that's from a maintenance vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to turn on the January 8th NDVI model that was produced by Drone Deploy. So now, as you can see, we're looking at the area around it, but we highlighted the area inside of the grassy area to show, what's going on here, what's happening from the NDVI software. So the green patches are good areas, and the yellows are yellowing, and then total browning and total dry areas are red, and up into the rocks here you also expect the reds and the yellows because there's rocks up here. Now I reflew the mission yesterday, and because I'm recording this the day after. So let's take a look at the difference. Click that on. So for February 6th, we've lost some more green areas. Let's turn that off real quick. So there's denser green up here, and when we turn on yesterday's model, we see that that green has thinned out in here just a little bit more. So definitely, definitely a change for the worse, not for the better, over the past month. So here is January 8th, and here is February 6th. The model got a little stretched, if you notice, and that was just me overlaying the 2 different days, because even though I flew the exact same model, there's a little more overlap in the February 6th model. So once again, January 8th, and February 6th. So we haven't had much rain here, so it really shows, and I don't think the city is heavily watering this area right now because it's not in season. So the other way you can tell that there's two different days going on, all right, so here's January 6th. Look in the parking area here, and no cars parked in here. And then yesterday's flight, February 6th, we've got one, two, yep, two cars in the area. Is that a third car? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so you get the idea. Um, for a quick flight, 13 minutes, uh, we can definitely see some changes in the health. And we can also see some differences in the coloration around it. And that is in part due to the fact that this was shot at two different times a day. Um, the February 6th model was shot an hour and a half earlier than the January 8th model just because of time allotted, and also we had some wind coming in for the day, so I went a little earlier yesterday to do the February 6th. But so once again, we can see some pretty pronounced differences. We've definitely got the green area up in here, um, has definitely retrenched. So this grassy field, if we're going to get it back to fully green, that's going to need to take a little bit of work. All right, so there's some example of some of the work that we're trying to get into here with our business AZDrone.net, and you can check out that website. But this also folds into the fact, this folds into my full-time RVing, full-time airstreaming, and actually working from an airstream and being able to accomplish some pretty interesting tasks, even working out of an airstream.